Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this show match between Expandable and Koyoko Gaming. I am Paul, joined here by Brilliant Frame, and we're really excited to bring you this exhibition match this evening.
Oh, yes, definitely am indeed. Valorant, one of those games that recently came onto the market. It was very a hyped game, especially with the developers of Riot. They're such a big company in the gaming industry, and now they released this game a few months back. The hype between this game was so insane, and I'm glad to be back casting with it. And you may remember me, especially if you are an OG Expandable Esports viewer. I used to be doing back in the Overwatch days of Expandable, but now I am back doing the Valorant, and I can't wait for this. Valorant, and we are going to Ascent, one of my personal favorite maps. Such a good map to have. So many alleyways, so many vantage points that you can take over, and especially using characters such as Sova, who, especially using his recon dart and arrow drone, you can use that to kind of get a better vantage point over your enemies, and especially if you know
Choose
how
your
to use Sova,
agent.
you can overcome the teams that currently can even try and get that wonderful ace in the game.
And walk me through this frame as we're loading in
Yep.
here. So, on Ascent, what can we look for on offense and defense, respectively? Does it favor one side in particular, do you think, or do you think it's fairly balanced?
I believe, like, in my opinion and my experience of playing Ascent, I believe this is more an attack-friendly side of the map. There are vantage points for the defense where it does become more powerful, but overall, I believe that the attacking has these vantage points. The defense, they do have the advantage of being able to lock the doors, being able to shut them, kind of stop the momentum of the attacking team trying to move over to a different site point. But overall, the attacking side has so much maneuverability, has so much freedom to kind of disengage, retreat, move around, that the defensive side is so hard for them to try and overcome and try and shepherd the attacking teams into a position where they can start to farm them down.
Something to keep our eyes on for sure
Okay.
here is Koyoko's going to be starting off on attack. So we'll see how they're able to use that slight advantage and those vantage points here. We'll see Wonder hugging first corner here near courtyard. Zypha going to get first kill on the board here on Levi, already getting the action started.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm looking at the agents being used right now. We do see quite a few similarities. We do see the brimstone, the breach on for both sides. No, the breach from both sides, and we also
Shot
do see
down.
the Sova and the Omen. Two great characters to use as well, especially with their being able to get the information that was recalled. But a few differences on both sides, but there are a few attack kills coming through on
Beautiful
both
from
sides.
Zypha there, picking up Scent as well there. So we set ourselves up in a 4-on-2. Wonder going to find the kill in the Zeshi, trading Fiken, picking him up with the headshot, 3-on-1. Sova Fiken here in a difficult spot, and they've got. It looks like they've probably got at least they have a decent idea where he is. Zai's gonna have to look for something interesting here. See if we can hug that corner.
Captain Kip.
Yeah,
Too many.
and that's a great advantage point from these teams, and they're kind of proving me wrong at the moment. Expandable, I said that this is an attacking favorite, and they are defense, and they're able to get the first vantage point of over the teams. But this is very early on, so we could see a few changes coming on. Are seeing a few guns coming out. We are seeing the Spectra being able to be pulled out. Also, I believe in the some of the sheriffs are coming out for the side of Koyoko, and that gun, as soon as you get a headshot with that sheriff, that's bye bye to your enemy that's trying to push up and towards you. So be careful with these sheriffs coming out to play.
We were warned in our talk behind the scenes before we went live, mobs on this jet watch out for. And so we're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on them as they're going to be approaching a site here. They've got a 2-on-1 potential flick and a hit. Loyoko down. Beautiful play there by mobs. Going to be a setup here on the point, and they're going to have an advantage early.
Yeah, definitely is going to be indeed, but especially if, but however, Wonder being able to get a kill with that ghost, it does even up the odds. However, we are seeing that Jet does manage to go down here by Zayfal.
Yeah, Vitek has knowledge there. He's looking, he knows they're there, but can't defend against Levi. Levi getting the best advantage, and it's gonna be taken up by Shift to Me as well. Shift to Me picking up another kill as Viking takes down Zai. They'll be able to defuse here though, and once again, hot start here for Expandables.
And it's working well for them. They're kind of being very open for the side of Expandable, not bunching themselves together. So when the attacking team comes up, Koyoko does come up to these points, Expandable are so open that as soon as they start shooting onto one person, the rest of the team is able to see where they are. And when these shots start coming in, because you're kind of in one area for the attackers, that is so easy for the defenders to try and pinpoint you down and able to get the kill. So now, especially going on to now where we are starting to see a few more assault rifles and sniper rifles coming out as well, we're going to see a lot of interesting plays coming up.
Yeah, and things still fairly even here. Mobs on the board already taking down Vitek, so an early advantage again. Last time they did have that first pick, weren't able to take the upper hand, but now they set themselves up with a 5-on-2. Sant getting the wall bang, putting them up early. Zeshi another kill, and they're looking at potential ace here. Koyoko just gonna try to buy their time, maybe pick up a couple of kills, ruin their buys, but gonna take some miracle plays if they want to bring this back.
Yeah, and it all comes from that first play coming from Mobs there. We did see that the operator was in use, but because Mars was just much quicker on that with that Vandal, he was able to take out the operator. And now, if he wants to, he could try and go pick it up, but not if Lyco is there to take him down.
Yeah, great kill there initially. Sant's gonna ultimately find the kill, and they'll get on the board with their first round win here. And I have to say, Frame, I'm really impressed with the back and forth. Like you said, those angles there early on in these fights, you know, are really paying dividends here for Koyoko. And that round, they finally were able to make it pay off.
Yeah, and by the looks of it now, they are going to be able to have in the second round, because it will be that Expandable going to go for an eco round here, not buy so much, only here and there, but just try to save a little bit of money for this bit of eco for the next few rounds, because this is where it's crucial, because we are seeing on the side of Koyoko, they have the operator, they have the Phantom, and they have the Vandal. Powerful weapons to be used, and especially going to be a pistol, it's definitely going to be an eco round.
Yeah, Mob's powerful weapon too, just on their own, able to pick up that first kill. But look at Wonder bringing things back as well. Gonna rip Hunter's Fury here, gonna try to look for some kills. Not getting any knowledge of that though. But Mob's picking up another kill here. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Everyone else, they're gonna play that alleyway, but they're just walking to a world of pain as they're gonna play the edge of the map. Picks up a third kill, gonna look for an ace on their own, but Wonder picking up their third, gonna even things out.
Yeah, and that was great play from Mobs there, bringing the whole distraction for the most teams, and allows Lee kind of swoop round, be able to come round behind the other members, and that was only leaving XP Wonder left alive, and he only has 22 HP, not a lot, whereas the Phoenix, who's been played by Levi, he has full HP, so XP Wonder has to be careful here.
Ooh, and really well played there by Levi, waiting that out nice and patiently. And so they'll be able to pick up the round win. Even things up here, 2-2. And, I mean, so far here, the back and forth, we're seeing now the momentum begin to sway. And, you know, obviously too early to call it some of these things here, Frame. But for me, the difference has been that they're finally converting these early advantages. And sort of what are you seeing that now they're starting to get rolling?
Yeah, I definitely agree. These early plays are the crucial points. As we saw last round, it was an eco round, but a great eco round for the side of Expandable. They went really aggressive, and it was something that Koyoko wasn't expecting. So they were caught off guard and pretty much with their pants down and got taken out, and it allowed Expandable to kind of pick up their weapons and able to get a few kills and take out pretty much almost all of the team of Koyoko, only leaving one alive.
Yeah, are we seeing a heavy push here on A side, 1-for-1 trade? Levi get some information, gonna just pull it out of there, back out here. Is actually gonna be taken down by a wall bang from Vitek. They're set up on that high ground here, and so Viking can just try to sit tight, plant the bomb as everyone's approaching. He has to know they're coming at him, able to pick up Shift to Me. Gonna look for a couple more kills. He's one up top. Didn't see the one at the low ground though. Zai gets the wall bang headshot.
I'm liking what Vitek and his friend is doing here, having the high ground. and the low ground, so anyone that tries to go underneath, they're going to get caught by Saint. And if anyone who wants to go around the rotate and try to get this high ground, try to get that vantage point, Vitek is there, able to stop them in a way. So great strategy from the side of ExPandable.
Absolutely. They're just recognizing, hey, why are we going to play these angles, give mobs that opportunity to get these early picks instead of ourselves sort of irreparably behind, right? When you're giving someone like mobs and the rest of the team from Koyoko an opportunity to get up 1 or 2, just to play safe, play it smart, and when they're playing it slow and constructing these fights the way they want to on their terms, ExPandable looking really solid.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I'm seeing something being pulled out by XP1 that he's bringing out the judgment, so it must be Judgment Day because as he has bringing it out. So careful with Koyoko if you don't want to be caught out by this judgment. But it's going to be interesting to see it because he has to be kind of aggressive with this judgment. So, but XP1 that has shown that he can be pretty aggressive whilst playing Sova.
Yeah, Mobs has this interesting corner spot to get here that we saw Fight could take advantage of, but Zai gonna find the kill on the Mob Ascent, gonna answer back. So 1-for-1 trade and bomb plant along with it. So they'll take that in their favor, up 1 kill as well, as we see Lyoko try to look for something, but it's gonna be difficult getting to that bomb site. They've got it held down.
Yeah, and but Lyoko, he is using his ultimate, he's using best ability you can be, using it here, the intel you can find, and able to get a few kills, especially with the smoke.
And Lyoko obviously getting information there from the Hunter's Fury, gonna see Sova, but can't take down Fiken. Beautiful shots, eliminate him in quick order. Shift2Me's gonna try to defuse, is able to stick the first half, running out of time. He's gonna have to choose, do I go for a pick or go for the bomb? Fiken's gonna take him out instead, and they're gonna be able to walk away with another round win.
Yeah, I liked what Fiken did there. He kind of played it safe, played it safe, didn't go too aggressive. He had the opportunity that he could, but because Shift2Me was very low on HP, but there was no need to. The bomb was so close to being exploded, so just use a recon bolt, kind of pressure Shift2Me to try and make moves, but try and stop it as well. So great place from Fiken there, but by just pretty much putting so much pressure onto Shift2Me that he could basically pretty much do nothing.
Yeah, I love that play. I'm with you there as we see Lyoko pick up that kill on Sant. Yeah, I mean, in a one-on-one, your best friend is time, and using time as sort of that set up yourself for a 2-on-1 matchup with time as your ally. Brilliantly done. So, and we'll see how they're able to do that throughout even this series. Sai gonna look down Hall here through the mid market, not gonna find anything, but Maul's off screen finds the kill onto Wonder here. Zai's gonna try to work their way to the bomb. They're planted, Levi's down, and they gotta do something.
Definitely do, but as we keep saying, time is your friend as well. Time is your friend or your enemy. Play it safe, you can play it as long as you want, and just play it smart, play it safe. You'll be able to pull this through, but maybe not in that way.
No, Koyoko, it's sometimes good old-fashioned clicking heads is going to take care of things a little bit better than time will. I go with a thrifty win there with tons of time to spare. Going to bring ExPandable up 4-3 here. And as we take a look at the scoreboard again, so we're seeing some great play throughout, right? I mean, the back and forth is continuing. Well, we obviously highlighted here at the beginning that Mose was going to be the leader here for Koyoko. Zai showing their stuff here too, and having a really hot start.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we're so early on. We're only 7 rounds. This is really interesting, seeing how many kills all these teams are. You can kind of see who is your top fraggers, who are your captains, who's a lead in these charges. But Cytech there going the headshot on the mobs. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, to borrow a phrase from across the pond, that was bloody brutal. And we were promised a show match, and we're absolutely getting a show. Flash comes up. Vitek's gonna have to back off that. At least gonna toss out the molly here. Not gonna find anything off of that though. And like we've said though, the back and forth continues as they're gonna look to move A site. Actually picking up the kill.
That's one thing I like about games such as this, being so equal and so even on both sides. It makes it interesting to see how these getting the wall bang onto Zyphal, and when casting these sort of games, it's kind of hard to predict who's gonna win these matches, who's gonna come out on top because they're so even, and that's what makes it more exciting because we don't know what's gonna happen, and neither do you.
Right, and we Shift to me is gonna pick up a kill there on Zeshi, and so they'll get the diffuse here, and so this will bring. Are they gonna? Oh, they're just messing. Okay. I was just taking a look. I was like, wait a second. I mean, so we talked about this a little bit, and you brought it up at the top of this too, right, Brim? Where games like Overwatch, you can look at the comps and go, okay, we know who's gonna win here. You can look at the map and go, well, this obviously benefits this and that, and obviously some of that is on display here. But such a large portion of Valorant versus some other titles is how well you actually just execute, right? How strong is your gunplay? How good are your wall bangs? Are you hitting? Are you predicting well? And when you have teams this evenly matched, especially with comps, this for the most part that are mimicking each other at least in some form, both the players have such opportunities to pop off and look for something. As we see Mobs doing so again, like it's gonna go back and forth like this probably the whole night.
Yeah, and I do agree. And one thing that I have to say about Overwatch is can also be so different with games such as Overwatch. You have these strict metas. You need a main tank, you need a support, and you need a DPS. As we are seeing XP1 being one of those DPS, getting a triple kill from himself on the Zeshi, but we know whilst we've seen Overwatch, you need these certain characters to be able to play the game. But as games such as Valorant, you don't necessarily need a tank such as Reinhardt or Roadhog to kind of bring you the pushes. Instead, you've got these kind of middle ground characters. Yeah, they do have some of their own sectors of themselves that differentiate themselves from different characters, but overall, they are similar in many ways, kind of the same speed. They're not that they all have the similar hitboxes. So it pretty much comes down to how their abilities and how they're kind of how the player, you as the player, are actually playing that character.
Yeah, those synergies sometimes not as at the forefront as some of these skill shots we're seeing here early on. Levi gonna take down Koyoko here. Phytech can be unaware that they were stuck in a 2-on-1. So that's Levi getting things started. Shift to me picks up Zeshi here. We see Levi begin to toss some fire up on the high ground here, but that's not gonna take Zai away from the shot. Levi picks up a third and has got things rolling here.
Yeah, he definitely does. Being that Phoenix, being able to kind of push and pull into points where he can be, but Shift to me is taken down Levi with that headshot as well. So only leaving the breach and the Sova left, but Saint being able to bring it back. Could he get this with 11 HP? And yes, he will.
Beautifully done. Sam picks him up, and so the attackers here will take a round, bring us to 6-4, and the back and forth actually continues here. We've seen the momentum switch back and forth, as you can see there on the middle of the scoreboard. 2-2-1-1, 3-1 here, so maybe Mobs and the crew begin to make a run here. Both teams, again, all players fairly even. I mean, you're going to see some differences with the KD, obviously, but you're seeing these double and triple kills come out from a variety of players, and really good stuff.
Yeah, you definitely do see some of these changes, but this is a game where this teamwork will happen, and you will have these top fraggers who will be aggressive, who will try and get these kills, and you got a few people who hold back at the back, but they're holding the fort, making sure that the enemy team doesn't come around and try to get a few kills. So you may have these top fraggers, but you can't forget that people such as who are at the bottom are also pulling their weight as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're capable of it at any second here. Phytech obliterates Zeshi. They're rounding the corner. So after Mobs had an incredibly hot start here, they're at least keeping things interesting. Ooh, how are they gonna stop this man? Takes down Phytech, and so that sets up a 3-on-1 as Spike is planted here, and Cypher up top is gonna have his work cut out for him.
Hey, definitely is going to be, especially with that Phoenix. Very early on, having that wall kind of stopping the Cypher from pushing up, and there will be Levi getting the final kill onto Lyco, and yeah, again, Levi being one of those fraggers, being able to get the kills, able to get the pushes, able to show how much skill he can be. So he's definitely one to look out for in these future matches.
And at this point, I think what we talked about at the beginning, as far as the map is concerned, I think we're starting to see itself play out, right? Where these angles that mobs is able to generate in the rest of Koyoko, whether or not they win the round, outstanding is another thing. But their angles that they can generate to get these picks are really giving them an advantage. And when we do flip sides here, it's going to be interesting to see how Koyoko plays without that
I
advantage
know
here as we see an
exactly
early
where
trade
you
shift to
are.
maybe taking down Ascent.
And I'm seeing some real aggression come from the side of ExPandable. We saw the Omen coming out again, using his teleport, going behind the enemy lines, and the Cypher pushing up really aggressive. Did get caught out. They didn't go out empty-handed. They did manage to take down one. They did manage to take out Levi. But it's kind of a risky play because now you've got a 4v situation, and you're kind of opening A up as B as the Sova and
Deploying
the
drone.
Brims XP Wonder have gone over to the side of B. So now this is going to be interesting to see how Koyoko will push up and try to get into this side of A, just of how early dominance the Expandable did have by just being pure aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out here. We see the rest of the offense, all four of them have now lined up on A site here. 100 Spirit going to come out from Wonder. He knows they're on site and he can find Fike, but can he find any more? Not quite. He's going to toss out some vision, try to look for a bit more as all the arrows. He's just burning the whole kit. It would have taken down Sit with a shock pull, but Mobs knew where he was. Zai's going to hang up top here. And with time running out, they've got to make a play. I'm not sure they're going to be able to, Frame.
Nah, it doesn't look like it is 5 seconds left, and they wasn't able to plant that bomb, so they didn't have the time to be able to pull it back. And Psyche, with that quick flick onto Zeshi, that will be Expandable winning that round, making it 7-5. And that's very interesting play. I was speaking about Expandable being really aggressive, and it worked out well for him. It was a risky play to have losing two members really early on, but having that dominance onto Kyoko, they were kind of seemed like they were a bit worried and a bit suspicious of what's gonna happen. So it was like, you know what, we'll hold back. We won't push up too far ahead, just in case we get caught out again. But it worked out well for the side of Expandable because having that time, as we were speaking about earlier, time can be your greatest enemy, but it can also be your greatest ally. And it was the greatest ally for the side of
Come
Expandable
into the
because,
unknown.
unfortunately for Kyoko, they just wasted that time, and when it was
Right.
crucial, they just didn't have it in the bank.
Yeah, and the,
Enemy mark.
I think that double there in the end by Tech was, it was more of a statement piece than an actual necessity. And I want to see how that momentum carries forward here. If that sort of play matters, because to me, that sort of thing would ultimately matter a great deal, right? Like you're getting a double that maybe you don't need, but that's sort of a pop off. Everyone nods to each other in the team chat's like, all right, we got this. Let's keep this rolling. So curious to see how that affects them as they move forward here. And we did switch sides, I believe. I lost track of the rounds there, but we did
Yeah,
we
we
did
did.
swap sides. I'm looking up. I'm like, oh my god, we're back to pistols again. So maybe that, I think that momentum matters coming into this next round. So if I take down Sant and they trade.
And it is one of those points that you need if you're able to kind of give that dominance point, kind of saying, right, we're the alpha team, we're the ones not to be messed with. It's kind of crucial, and it will put that pressure onto teams such as Koyoko.
Let's see what they're able to put together here. Just as they're planting bomb, though, going to be taken out here. As actually finds the kill on the Tech, so maybe the momentum just very temporary there. Tech taken down. So see this go to a 7-6 scoreline.
And but then again, it was a pistol round, so not everyone was at their fullest. They just kind of at their minimum stage, no armor, kind of semi-powerful pistol. But overall, it was just pretty much who can be able to get into those positions and have those rotates where they can have the upper advantage over the opposition team.
We see the push here going to be strong B side, but Mob's strong, holding down the fork, and find 3 here before taken down by the shotty from Wonder here. So they'll push up in a 3-on-2 here, make that 3-on-1 as Sant taking care of business there.
Right here.
And going to be a very difficult fight here as they look to set up bomb.
Yeah, and with 4 HP, this is gonna be like reaching for the stars at this point. He can play it out, but just try to be silent, to be sneaky, try and wait out. There is the spike, so he knows he has to try and get it. But here's the thing: just try to
Ooh.
survive. And unfortunately, Saint was able to spot him out and does manage to take him out.
Yeah, rather unfortunate start here as they flip sides here for Expandable. We'll take a second here though to welcome, as I see our viewer count ticking up. Welcome everybody. You are watching Expandable versus Koyoko Gaming here in a show match. This is the first of a best of three. We just switched sides, and those last two rounds have gone the way of Koyoko as they switch over to defense here. We've seen mobs popping off, an assortment of pop-offs here from Expandable. I am Paul, joined by Brilliant Frame here, and we've got a great match going for you so far, tied up 7-7. I think things are just going to get better here.
Yeah, they definitely are. Mobs being one of those characters who we were spoken about earlier. We got some little some information from some of the organizations. They came up to us and said, "Watch out for Mobs. He's a very good player, great fragger. So keep an eye out on him." But also we can't forget about XP Wonder and XP Zyphal. Them two together. Oh, they have been doing some powerful work, able to get some of those great kills, able to get kind of lead the charges. They're able to kind of even up the odds.
Yeah, and so we'll see here early pick on the Sova here, going to put them in a bad spot. Moz takes down Zypful here. So once again, defense showing face here for Koyoko Gaming, making their presence known. Mouse has got ult up, possibly going to look to toss the knives, but going to wait for the smoke to come down, maybe start to line something up here from behind.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mobs, just kind of waiting it out. The smoke was there, but what I was most interested in is was that Expandable. They were so bunched up together that if that smoke wasn't there, that Mobs could have just pushed on through and got like a four-man kill right there. So Expandable, they got lucky there because of that smoke, and Mobs just kind of playing it passive, that they were able to kind of wait it out and able to kind of survive a bit more. They didn't win the rounds, but they was able to kind of waste that ultimate and kind of have, and because Mobs doesn't have the receipt, they can kind of get a bit of payback now.
Yeah, we're seeing a tech lineup heavy here on A side, so we might see a sort of fast push. Losing 3 rounds in a row has to be a bit depleting here to their mentality. Like, just wondering, okay, how do we get back on track here? Maybe maybe they'll look for something here. Shifting is going to try to line something up, gets flashbang, then they'll have to back off. They haven't found the right angles yet. Those sort of angles that we saw Koyoko get very early on, they haven't quite landed those early picks, and it's putting them behind.
And they've got to be careful because Levi has that judgment, and they're so bunched together that if when these judgments start coming out, it's just gonna go everywhere.
Yep, Judgment Day gonna be coming back very soon as we see Zai get the headshot there. Mob's gonna be trading back here, takes down Wonder, that sets us up in a 4-on-2 here, again in favor of the defense for Koyoko. They have to be really happy with what they're seeing here. Phytech has the headshot lined up, can't land it though. Mobs takes Phytech down. Gonna be a very difficult spot here for Zai. They'll be taken down last here, and what was a very back and forth match has been one-sided 4-0 in favor of Koyoko the last 4.
Yeah, and it's all coming down to these early plays from the side of Koyoko. They're being kind of like aggressive, but they're being smart aggressive. They ain't just running in, guns blazing, hoping for the best. They're going in, they're kind of peeking off, taking the few shots to see what they can get. But if they see that a good amount of people are there, they pull back and they kind of use their abilities to their fullest, using the smokes, using the flashbangs, using the mollies, and being able to drain some of that early HP that some of these teams, because we aren't seeing any sages, that these heals aren't coming in for any of the sides. So the more you can drain, the easier it is to be able to get a few of these kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we're seeing Mouse playing this corner here, maybe gonna look for a wall bang on B side, we're seeing sort of everyone split off, something that's sort of not been the norm since we saw the switch. Maybe here Expandable recognizing, okay, we've all been loading up one side or another. That's not working. Let's go back to the drawing board. You know what they say. Insanity's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but they're trying something else. But Mom's playing insane, finds a headshot onto Zai. Back and forth headshots across the board here. Shift to me though, gonna take down Zeshi and maybe Expandable finding something here.
Yeah, they will be able to
Oh,
find.
Shift to me finds the third, takes down Sant. That's sort of the momentum they were looking for. They get around on the board on attack.
Yeah, and that's Shift to me being somewhere where you don't expect someone to be. You had the door closed, so it was kind of was able to say, right, I protected from the back, so just aim for the front, and pretty much all the members came towards Shift to me, so they were pretty much feeding into him, and just him there waiting, able to get the kills and able to up his abilities.
Yeah, absolutely here. And so again, we'll highlight Mob's gonna be playing uptight on the defense here. Phytech gonna be pushing as far as the split push on the B side. Rest of the team we're gonna see rotating. A side bombs sitting right now down mid here for the attackers, and so they're just kind of debating, feeling out where they can get a lane or pick until they decide where they want to go.
Yeah, this is something that we always say. The teams kind of peek over the corners, trying to see what they can find out, see how many players are there. How is it an open space? Is it very territorial? Is it easy for the taking? And if they don't come to a full agreement, then they know, right, let's go try somewhere else. Let's go see where we can go to, and let's try to take over with our fullest abilities.
This is really slow. And early on, we saw Expandable really excel when the game was more measured, when it was constructed in such a way that they dictated pace and let the game come to them. And we saw the split push last time work really well instead of lumping one side. Maybe they're leaning on that, but with 30 seconds to go, Lyoko finds a kill, and they do have to start making some sort of aggressive move here.
And they do, but it's gonna be the question of now is it too little too late? Because they've got 15 seconds left and they still need to get the kills or try and plant the bomb. So it's pretty much down to the wire for now.
Yeah, it's do or die situation here. We're seeing the clock ticking away. Ooh, that's gonna be awfully close. I believe they're gonna get it in time. Yeah, that's about a 5-second bomb plan. I'll look that up in the meantime here, and we'll see how long exactly that is. But we've got a 2-on-2 and time and bomb. So as a betting man myself, I take those odds here for the attack. They have to be liking their chances.
Yeah, they definitely do. But I'm looking at the chances of Levi. He was going up an operator, and the operator was on his sights, but Levi was there, and they were able to get the shots quick. And having that run it back now, that's going to be crucial, and wasting a bit of ammo for the side of Zyphal, and Levi able to get the win and able to get another point onto his scoreboard.
Yeah, very well done there by Levi, playing that out properly and making sure that not letting the time force him into a difficult pinch. He knew how much he had. And just for everyone watching at home to keep track, so it's 4 seconds to plant the bomb, 45 seconds for it to go off, 7 seconds for defusal. So there was a lot of time there. It wasn't as close as we thought originally, but they accounted for it. They were ready. They had some time left over, and that was despite losing the round, that was still well thought out.
Yeah, definitely was. Could have been nice. Like, it would have been more interesting to see them try not to use some of that. But then this is what we keep talking about: is how valuable time can be. It can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy, depending on how you work with it. But if I can get in that double kill, and that's gonna put some hurt onto the side of ExPandable.
Yeah, Fight can really find in their rhythm here now. We talked so much about Mob early on here, but Fight can, not to be dismissed whatsoever here, starting to put their mark on the match here as we see Lyoko set up here. As we can see, obviously, where they're set up wants to pick up their gun. It's like, how close can they get? It's like leaning over, you're trying to reach something on the highest shelf. It's like, can I get it without falling off this? And able to pull it off here. But with, again, 50 seconds to go, we have to be mindful, and they do too of that time. They've got to keep things rolling along.
Yeah, but 1 HP for the Dream for like if he falls over or stubs his toe, that's him got, and he's the spike carrier as well, so that's got to put some extra pressure on the side of him.
Have drops the spike.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to put together now. 30 seconds on the clock. Koyoko shooting through the lane, not finding anything, just finding a flashbang to the face here. Gonna look up top. Zeshi finds a kill on Koyoko. Vitek trades. Defenders able to take another round here and begin to really put pressure here on ExPandable. And with only 2 rounds to go, getting ready to push this to match point.
Yeah, and something I just saw from the side of Zeshi there, Vitek was closed the door and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm safe now." But Zeshi, he crouched down and he just had the smallest opening, and he just shot Vitek through the floor, through into the toe, and he was able to get the kill. So great plays from Zeshi there, using what he had to use, and he was able to get the kill.
Yeah, very well played indeed here. Next round, we're already into here. Sai shooting down the lane. Going to be spotted by the recon bull. Going to try to at least get out of that, but they've got a lot of information. They got him down at least from a couple of shots here. Interestingly enough, steps through regardless and takes down Spike in here, as well as picks up a kill on the other side. Very bold play here. ExPandable playing awfully aggressive and maybe reckless here, taking down 3 in a row.
Zeshi, one of the players we saw, did have kind of a low kill, but now he's able to pull it out, and him and Mars pretty much did a clean sweep there, took out pretty much the whole of ExPandable, and now it's 8-12. This is match point for the side of Koyoko. So this has got to put some pressure for the side of ExPandable, because losing the first match is kind of the decider point, because it pretty much configures your mentality, because as you got to kind of figure out, how can we change it up? How can we kind of prevail and try to get the win over your opponents? And this has got to put a lot of mind, and it's going to kind of confuse the mindset of ExPandable here.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, so in a show match, you're going back and forth. You know, it's effectively what you might want to call a glorified scrim, right? But even in that last round, we saw sort of that pressure. Zypho stepping up, sort of recklessly going for kills that I don't think ExPandable would even have thought to go for otherwise, and getting triple picks. So we're seeing a different sort of aggression here. Is able to go 2 for 1 in early trades. Zai setting up in a decent spot here. Winner takes down Levi, setting up a 4-on-2 here as they look to plant. They do so, and Mobs has ultimate out though. What can they do?
Yeah, it's gonna be a risky situation. If I was Mars right now, they have a kind of use and waste up, so they could, you know, wait out, try not to go too aggressive, save this ultimate they do have, try to take a few kills in the meantime, but Mars right now, he's able to take out 1 and he's got 2 left to go.
Yeah, Wonder didn't see him whatsoever there, so at least Koyoko was able to turn and flick just in time, but they didn't see that at all coming here. So very well played there by Mobs to stay hidden as long as they had, but not able to finish things off. And now Zypho we see at the top of the leaderboard, 18-18 here for ExPandable here. Again, fairly even KDAs though, but Mobs proving to be MVP so far, 28-18. And then the rest of the team, but look at that, checking out those KDAs,
Yeah.
all even or positive here. So regardless of how these next rounds go, Koyoko have to be very pleased with this match so far.
Yeah, they definitely do indeed. They're good. They have a great strategies. They use them well. They're kind of sticking to them. They're not pulling out very on the last seconds, and so they aren't very spread out. They're sticking to what they know. They're using strategies and not kind of making them kind of soft. They're going hard and they're going fast.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Zypho here are going to get Mobs taken down first, though, so you'd think that's going to be, you know, obviously the pick they look for every time that they go, okay, that pushes us over the top here. And we'll see what Levi's able to do, rotating around. Vitek finds another kill.
And it's going to be interesting now. ExPandable 4v2 situation. It's going to be likely it's going to be that they will win this round. We could see a prevail from Levi and Zed, but more than likely, ExPandable will be able to spot them out and get kills on their side.
Yeah, Vitek getting that kill on the Zeshi there, and I mean, I'm assuming at this point, um, Levi being left here should just try to find a good hiding spot, save for next round here. And now we're gonna start looking at, thinking ahead already. It's like, can expandable keep things rolling, keep ulti. Ooh, Wonder gonna find that final kill. It's a little uh maybe a little misplay there from Levi, just wandering around a little bit too much. But can they maintain their momentum and their ult economy well enough to finish off these next 3 rounds? Definitely a tall order, but at this rate, something they're looking like they're up to.
Yeah, and it's definitely possible, and especially what they just did to Levi. He had the operator, so now he doesn't have that, and it will be an eco round for the side of Koyoko. So this is what in favor of this side of Expandable. But we've seen it. What Expandable did, they went really aggressive. They pushed up, and they didn't. Koyoko didn't expect it, and this is what Koyoko is doing to Expandable.
Yeah, Zai and Phytech are we gonna find a couple kills here. Shift to me, first one taken down though. So putting bullets through the armor here. Leo's gonna take down Zeshi, but here comes Most from behind. Not gonna do it though. Finds a trade and a kill from Wonder is all. And here steps up Viking through the smoke. I don't think they have really information except they're caught between a pickle there. Leoko takes down Viking. That's 3 in a row here. And just what we thought Expandable was going down, they said, no, not so fast.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. We can go to down to the wire with the teams just using the sweep, but then they bring it back, able to show that actually we just let you have that a bit easy. We're playing a bit nice, but now we're showing you that we're here to play and we're not here to mess around, and that's what Expandable are doing right now. But they have to be careful because I've just seen that Marbs does have that operator, so being able to take him out really early on is going to be crucial. Alex Zeshi also does have that operator as well.
Yeah, it's actually letting frame know, hey, wait a second. I also have. Yeah, really well played though by Zeshi getting that early pick. But you're entirely right. Like you have to know where Mubs is. It's like you're watching your shadows, checking your corners. Like they could be anywhere, and you don't quite know when you're gonna get hit by it. And we're seeing on the mini map here, Mob's looking down mid, but rotating A side now. Maybe gonna pick up something. Levi though finds size. Hunter's Fury coming out from Wonder, trying to pick up a little info.
Yeah, I liked what Levi there did there. Just jumped up to as soon as Zyfel wants to shoot rounds, he can have the shot.
Ooh, what a wall bang from Wonder, finding him there in the middle of that. But Sant and Levi gonna finish things off. 1, 2, 3 to put things away here. Koyoko take game number 1.
Yeah, and there's great plays from both sides. This is very interesting going on. Very crucial strategies coming from both sides. Top fraggers, as we're seeing now on the kill board, Mobs with 29 kills. If he would have got one more, if he would have got to that 30k bomb. But yeah, again, we've still got another round to go, so we could see that 30 bomb come from the side of Mars, but he can't be where it can't be too crucial because Zyfel not too far away behind him, only 9 kills away, so he's always going to be around there. So we gotta watch out for these two, them two going up against each other in these 1v1 matches. And so, but the rest of the team we can't forget about it. Koyoko being so even on their kills, there was like a 1 to 2 difference between the rest of them. Marbs, of course, being so far ahead, but the rest of his team backing them, Zeshi, and Levi, these players, they're so crucial. They're able to do what Marbs can't do when he's taken down. They're able to back it up, and we are seeing it from the side of Expendable with Cytec and Wonder. But it seems to me that Koyoko is just doing it a little bit quicker. Expendable able to get the kills and able to get use the strategies. But in my opinion, as of now, we are very early on. Koyoko just being a bit more aggressive, using their strategies and their plans a bit more crucially. But we could be seeing a completely different team going into the next map.
Absolutely. And so we're going to step away here for just a second before we get ready for map number 2. And for anyone just tuning in, just to catch you up to speed, we just watched game number 1 here between Expandable and Koyoko Gaming. At Koyoko Gaming, able to sneak things out at the end, almost lost it in what Expandable put together as a late run here. I'm Paul, joined with brilliant frame here. Like I said, we're just gonna step away for just a second as these players get ready for match number 2. One of the players is just gonna do a quick little restart, get their internet back up to snuff so they can give you their best. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times.
We welcome back, everybody. We are live. We were just talking about Shia LaBeouf's awesome "Do It" speech. So if you've been putting
Just
something off, just do it. So that's our mentality tonight. We're just doing it here. I'm Paul, joined alongside Brilliant Frame, and we're honored and really excited to be doing some Valorant action here for Expandable TV. Shout out to Twig running the stream and uh, to everyone here, to Sparks and Sasha bringing us in. So thank you for that. To get to the action here a little bit, we saw in that first round, Koyoko Gaming walk away with a narrow, I believe it was a 13-11 win. Expandable was down quite a bit at the end there, frame, but it would have put a little bit together. And going into this next round, I wonder if that little bit of momentum that they started to build will carry over onto Bind.
Yeah, it definitely can be, and this is like going on to those last few rounds. It's very crucial. If you don't play it right or you make a mistake, it can be very crucial. You could be leading to having an eco round where you need that next win. So when you come to these situations where you have an eco round, or you aren't having your full abilities, or you are limited to what you can get, so you can feel like you're giving the other team that win, and that's something you don't necessarily don't want, especially if they are a match point. So, kind of savoring, making sure
Select
that
your
even
agent.
if you do lose this round, you have the ability to know, right, I can go into this next round, lose it, but I'm still gonna be okay. I'm gonna have the economy. I'm gonna have the resources to bring it back and being able to get the next few crucial wins.
And the other thing to highlight too, and we talked about this a little bit throughout the first match. Show match again for many, and I put it this way in the most generous kind of way I can. It's really becomes a glorified scrimmage, right? Nothing's
Yeah.
effectively on the line, but you're on stream. People, friends, family might tune in and watch. You don't want to get embarrassed. You know that people are putting time and effort into this, like ourselves, and we're having a fantastic time doing it, but you recognize that there's still an elevated stature to these matches. And so even on a Thursday night, or for you late into a Thursday early morning or Friday early morning here, like there's still that little bit of an extra edge. And we saw it get to Expandable for a second, right? They got really reckless for 2 rounds, and they were like, hold on, slow it down, pace yourselves. And we saw that momentum build back up.
Yeah, and it's kind of the thing is as well on don't want to reveal all of your cards straight away. And I'm guessing like both of these teams have a few strategies in mind, but they just keep them very hidden away, locking key, just because they don't want to unveil when it comes to these tournaments and it comes to these crucial points where they need a few surprising strategies to get them wins. And so being able to go here and go to these showdown matches, it kind of gives you an idea of how some of these teams are playing, but it doesn't give you these full ideas. So when you're going to them in tournaments, you're like, we've seen you before, we know how you suddenly play, but when you go up against me, like, I haven't seen that before. Great shot. And then it's just like being able to use these showdowns to your fullest abilities, but not able to show all of your full cards very early on.
We'll see again here, highlighting from the last game as well. Maul is definitely someone to look out for here from the side of Koyoko Gaming as they begin on the attack here. Viking finds a kill on the Kaiser for off screen, so we're going to see Kai in for this round here from the side of Expandable. We knew that coming in that they were going to do a 6-man rotation here for this show match, so excited to see Kai on board now. So Lyoka's going to just hang tight. They're going to have to begin to move up here. 5-on-3, though. They got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they definitely do, but one thing that we didn't see on Ascent is that both sides do now have this Sage. So when these abilities like these mollies and these attacks coming out, they can kind of bring it back up as Sage is the healer of the maps. So they have this now in play. Other agents that they are similar with, like, they both have these Sovas, they both have the Brimstones, and they both have the Cypher, but the only kind of thing that's changed is that on the side of Koyoko, they have Malves, who has this Jet, amazing Jet player, we've been told. Watch out for him, so we're going to make sure we keep an eye on him. But he's shown back in Ascent that even he is in these kind of narrow, unlikely situations, he can kind of make it into his favor. We're also seeing that Zypher is now back on this breach, so they know who they're playing and they know who their specialities are.
Here we see Zypher are able to pick up a really nice kill in the fight in there with the shotty. Levi gonna find a couple as Phytech is able to take him down at least in the exchange, setting them up with a 3-on-3, quickly becoming a 3-on-2 with a health advantage here. Sant lands a headshot.
Yeah, and that's gotta be crucial. And one thing is also that to look at on the mini map, ExPandable, they're all on the site of B, and with Mark just
Ooh.
getting that sneaky rotate on iFoul, and then he's side tech left and like a 3v1 situation, all of the side of Koyoko, full HP as well. So this is gonna be a hard battle for the side of side tech. So if I was him, just stay kind of hidden. You you got the Spectra, keep it. You're gonna need it for these next rounds. So keep it. Try to stay hidden. Don't play too risky. If you can get a kill, like you're just gonna take it, but don't play too risky here.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And we see Phytech pick up that 1 kill, and I think you've got to be happy walking away with just that, right? You walk away with your life, you're going to keep your gun, and you're going to ruin someone else's buyouts there. So maybe you're going to pick up something here on the back end. Very risky exchange. Loses at the last second to Zeshi there. And right back to your point there, Frame. Was it worth? And I can't reason it out to be there, but regardless, the attackers go up 2-0.
It was a very risky situation. He knew that someone came out of that teleport, and he kind of saw that he was retreating. He was gonna go back, regroup, but being able to try and take out Zephyr, try to be kind of greedy, it backfired on him. He now doesn't have the Spectra, and he kind of has to waste that economy that he could have, not been able to do if he would have just played it safe. But high risk, high rewards. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to get the reward, but he does get a kill of his own now.
Yeah, exactly. Able to at least pick up the 1, but not able to make it out here. So we're gonna see here. Phytech gonna try to look for something here. Mob's gonna be in showers, not gonna find the push up quite yet. Looking for a really cheeky wall bang there. Nothing quite coming forward yet, but Mobs has got some intel on trying to pick up the headshot if they jump.
Yeah, and that's gotta be crucial as well because he has this sight on Sage. So if he does manage to get this pick, no healing for the side of Expander, and that's gonna be crucial kill from the side of Mobs.
Yeah, let's see if Mobs is able to do something again. We have that extra knowledge here, and Kaiser has a whole bunch too. Really nice flick on the Mobs here. We're gonna see Zeshi and the team begin to push up here. Kaiser takes down Phyken. Phytech finding the kill as well with the ultimate. They're going to look to push up here as Sant takes down 1. And Koyoko finishes off the round.
Yeah, and this can be the start of the snowball effect. If we ExPandable taking their first point on this round on bind, so we could see that Koyoko may go for an eco round. They are kind of low on the side of economy, so going for an eco round very early on is going to be a good idea to have, especially seeing as we saw ExPandable didn't lose too much. They still had all of their agents left. They had a few characters go down, but not enough to make it a crucial point.
No, not quite here. And we see Kaizo on that Cypher, and that's one I want to personally keep an eye on, especially on a map like this that really could go both ways. You can do a lot of push and rotate pushes, and I think that's really a lot of the appeal of Bind, is that you can really start one way and then totally switch gears, go back the other, because it is so linear. And so we'll see how Kai, is able to hold things down here as Mobs looks to push up.
Yeah. The way I'm seeing Cypher right now, he's kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is showing he can show to his best ability, but only when he pops off. So I'm hoping to see a bit more of Cypher here.
Yeah, for now we're seeing a whole lot of wonder there. Triple kill there and a finish from Phytech. So the back and forth action continues, right? So we did see that momentum really ramp up for Koyoko. ExPandable tried to make the comeback that fell just short. But starting off in the match number 2, this is exactly basically how the last one started. 2-2. It'll probably might even out eventually to 7-7 here. And Phytech top of the leaderboard this time, sitting pretty with 5 kills.
Yeah, definitely can be. But also looking at those kills, they are so even yet again with all of these players. Fighting, yeah, being on top, but the rest of them are not too far behind. Whereas we was looking at the side of ExPandable, it was kind of
Ooh,
5, 4,
God.
3, 2, 1, like a countdown, unfortunately for Zyph out there.
Yeah, mobs instantly like basically couldn't even see yet, and mobs finding that flick. And for anyone tuning in that not familiar with the teams, we're looking at players that are all entirely immortals level, right? So, what we're seeing on the screen, they may as well be wearing like we'd have to put on X-ray goggles and play this in like 0.25 speed to execute what they're executing, right? It's just sort of unreal here. And honestly, like so those sorts of kills just blow my mind.
Yeah, it's just how different, like the different levels you can get. We've always seen it, but when you actually get to see it as a cast or in person, it's just unbelievable. And you're like, how did he do this? How did he do that? And but that's what we're here for, able to bring it down for you like Expendable Wonder there.
Oh my god, yeah, Wonder, back-to-back triple kills, just absolutely ruthless here, finding their rhythm here. It's actually gonna res mobs, and it's not the res you want to see, but if you're Lyoko and Phytech, you want to see that. Headshots and wall bangs galore, finishing off a really clean round.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, great plays from Lyco that he waited until the Resurrect came out. So now on the side of Koyoko, they don't have that Resurrect. So they kind of wasted that and gave it away. So now when they need it, in the crucial points, especially for characters such as Mobs or Falcon, they won't be able to resurrect them. So it's unfortunate for the side of Zypher and Koyoko.
Absolutely here. And so we're seeing the push up here, Fiken go and be long. We're going to see what they're able to put together. We haven't quite seen this idea of a push yet here. Hunter's Fury, though, coming out from the opposite side. They're going to have to be careful, but they obviously know where it came from. Fiken's got information now, and he'll be able to retreat and reset.
Yeah, having that information's gonna be crucial, but he did using that Hunter's Fury kind of did get nothing for it. So unveil location, he knows that now they don't have that ultimate in place, so they can kind of push up without too much worry.
Absolutely there. Levi fighting a nice little wall bang there onto Zai, setting up a 4-on-4. Time taken down to 45 seconds now. We're seeing these rounds start to play a little bit slower. ExPandable trying to dictate the pace of it a little bit differently than we saw in the opening rounds.
Yeah, it's kind of edging towards what they want to do. They have a plan, but they aren't 100% on what they want to do. It's kind of about 70%. But now we are seeing the resurrect from yeah.
Yeah, Phytech gonna pick up the kill on Levi in the meantime here. Kai and Zeshi gonna get some kills on the board. Spike is planning here. Fight can set up in a pretty advantageous location, but it doesn't matter if they're not hitting the shots on the Lyoko there. Zeshi picks up the kill on the Kai, 1-on-3. So at least with the bomb, they have some sort of backfall, but Lyoko with a nice headshot, and they'll be able to defuse.
Just edging over towards that wall, kind of waiting for an opportunity to open up. And unfortunately for Zeshi, he was just looking the wrong way. He was more focused on XP Wonder, and Leica was just there waiting for him to go into his crosshairs, and he did so in fact, and did manage to get taken out. And now we've been able to get the defuse. Unfortunately, that Lyco would be able to get some more points that ultimate and probably get closer to that resurrect before Zeshi does.
Absolutely. And as we get ready here, just a reminder to anybody watching, if you don't already, please follow the channel. We're going to be trying to do these show matches as often as we can, twice a month, trying to build up to once a week or 4 times a month as Zayef picks up that first kill. You're going to be seeing a lot more of those kills if you hit that follow button. So go ahead and hit that and come back for more action as Mob's taking out Zayef to a hot start, back to back, setting up his team 5-3.
And it's interesting to see. It seems like Koyoko is finding themselves kind of with two left feet. They're unable to find their footing. They're able to get a few kills, but they're not able to have the execution that they would like. And it seems like for the side of ExPandable, they just have found their footing. They had a few suspicious and edgy games done early on, but they've now come full force, able to push it through. But as I'm saying that, Satan's actually able to get 2 kills of their own.
Yeah, they really are. I have to agree with you. I think they're the way they've slowed down the game to play on their terms. I think is really gonna suit them if they really keep things going here. Fight walking right through 100's Fury here. Uh-oh, he's looking down this the barrel of a bad gun. They're fighting with the double 100's Fury. They're able to take the improbable round win. Really well done.
Yeah, they just waited. They waited patiently. We saw Viking just. He knew that someone had to go for the bomb, so they let him. He used the bomb as bait, and as soon as that Hunter's Fury came out, they knew what was happening, and they had to make a deciding factor. Do we decide to kind of defuse the bomb and get the win, or do we kind of get the kills and try to get the win? But unfortunately, none of those options were able to open up for them. So when those Hunter's Fury came out from Viking, they just lost their footing and wasn't able to back it up.
Yeah, not all of their mobs finding a kill on the fight tick. Haven't said that name in a hot second, but you're always gonna feel that presence. So mobs picking up the kill, and really nice early advantage here. We'll see what they're able to put together off it.
And as we spoke about on Ascent, these first picks are the crucial points. That's the deciding factor of how this round will play, and able to get the kill onto Breach is going to be really early, especially seeing as also he did have his ultimate, so that won't be able to come out and play. And Mars getting the kill also on the Brimstone, taking out Zyphal. That's got to be a crucial another kill for Mars.
Yeah, Viking picking up another here. Koyoko getting in action on the trade there, picking up another on the Viking. We said Wonder's name a whole lot before, but now that we haven't seen it as much, who's going to pick up the slack here? Setting up a 2-on-2 here. Sant's going to pick up Koyoko, but there's Wonder reminding me they're there. So is Maul. And again, here we go. Even Steven, 4-2-4. And I mean, Frame, we're sort of a broken record, but necessarily so. Like, I think until we get to that 7 or 8-8 tie mark, I think we're just gonna keep seeing this line.
Yeah, and that's something that we normally see with a game such as Valorant. We can see sometimes that the team is just steamrolling over the opposition, but as soon as they were able to get their footing, it flips the tables around, and then we see that the other side, the opposition, getting the steamrolling the team that we was originally having the steamroll, and that's something so great to see. And now that we're seeing on the side of Koyoko, they have 4 ultimates in play. They have the Jet ultimate, they have the Sage ultimate, the Cypher, and the Breach. So this is going to be a very interesting play to come out.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Wonder here rotating up, looking for something down. Belong, not finding anything quite yet. Mob's gonna look down through Hookah, nothing landing there. Eyes on teleporter, no one's rocking that yet so far as we see the Valorant spray on the wall. And Wonder though taken out by Viking here. Didn't quite expect that side. Just looks like they're waiting for information. They're gonna finally send the ultimate out. Rock through Hookah here, and maybe they start to see some action, but very slow play.
Yeah, and it seems like when we go into these later battles, the speed of how these matches go through drops dramatically. But as soon as it starts to speed up, the crucial plays are coming out, especially from people such as Mobs and Levi.
Yeah, and Mobs again making the presence known here. We've got a 5-on-1 on our hand. Potential team wipe possibility here. We haven't seen that yet so far. Kai's just gonna head for the hills, save the life, and save the gun there. And, but, it's funny that we've we've seen players do this so much throughout, and I still don't think any of them have actually made it out alive. Like ultimately, we've just seen them get wiped out by something here. So we're
Yeah.
kind of. I'm afraid to say, oh, they get out alive because we're already seeing a little bit of a rotation here from the opposite cipher, but I think he's gonna get away with it finally.
He maybe, but Mobs is on his tails, and he has to be careful.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Mobs was just there. He was on the hunt. He was waiting for using his ultimate, trying to get him down. Kind of a waste of an ultimate because he just.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
such a waste of an ultimate. I don't understand that unless maybe Mo's opened it up sooner. But even then, like for it would have been like a 5-on-2. So a rare skeptical play from Mobs, but you know,
I mean,
we'll see what they can put together.
Mobs is a great player, and if he's able to get these high fragger kills, he can gain that ultimate very quickly. So if he's able to get the kills, it's a high risk, high reward. But if he's able to pull it out, then it's kind of not going to be a waste, especially since it's now expandable. It has decided to go for an eco round.
That is true. Yeah, set Kai behind to be able to build an ult back by the time they're just purchasing guns again. Probably the right move from that perspective. So well put there. 5v4 right now here. Early pick in the set. The attackers down. We see Koyoko going to be looking corner here. Only ultimates available are both of the resurrects actually here. So as Kai takes down Zeshi, the Sage is both going to be instrumental. Well, the remaining Sage, excuse me, going to be instrumental in this one in case there's a comeback.
And it's very interesting. We're always seeing from the side when they go to these eco rounds. I don't know why it seems to be happening. When they have these eco rounds, they seem to be doing better than they normally do with an AR or a submachine gun. And then it should be flipped the other way around. But I don't know what's happening. Maybe Expandable just keep having these eco rounds, and it's going to be a very interesting place on both sides.
Absolutely, though. Viking looking alive here, and so is Mobs. They're going to find 4 between the two of them there. Vitek doesn't stand a chance. Didn't see it coming there. And Mobs cleans things up to push this to 6-4. And as we think ahead on this frame, so for a while, I was falling under the impression, okay, if these matches stretch out, these rounds stretch out, that's where Expandable thrives. But Koyoko's starting to put things together in those. How do you think Expandable looks to turn things around?
I feel like it. What we always keep saying, it has opening kills. If you kind of don't get the opening kill onto characters such as Mobs, the Sage, or the Viking, then it's pretty much you're opening yourselves up because you're allowing them to kind of know where you are and have the strategy on how to play. Like Marv is doing right now, he got onto the Sage, he's taken down Lyco. So now Expandable doesn't have the healing, so they both know that they can start kind of picking off some of that HP and kind of tearing down the side of the Expandable.
See ultimately if they're able to find those first picks here. Wonder Kai gonna pick up a couple kills. Sand has answered first there, so now Kai picking up another kill. Here comes Kai online, gonna find another. That's 3 Mobs taken down. Has an opportunity to add to the stockpile there. Diffusal in progress, can't see but doesn't quite need to, but Zeshi does. Right through the smoke. Zai's gonna be the only one remaining here. Bomb ticking away, has to try something. I don't think it was stuck beforehand. As Zai's taken down, it's gonna be off the coast. I think he gets it though.
Yeah, he was.
Well done.
Again. And that's really interesting. We saw he was able to get a resurrect from Mob. So even though he realized that he wasn't gonna win this fight on his own, so he was like, you know what? If I go down, I'm not gonna do it alone. I'm gonna get up my best friend. I'm gonna get up Mobs, and it worked out well. He was able to get the kill. Unfortunately, for the side of Mobs, we did see that there was just one person there just being able to have the defense, able to stop them from getting the win. So great plays from both sides, great strategies to use.
Absolutely agree here. And again, it's 6-5 here. Opportunities here bring things back to even as both teams continue to try a different strategy. Sam finding a really clean wall bang on Kai, not quite ready for it as quickly as Sant was here. So they obviously know they're pushing Shower, but we're seeing a split push. 2 and Hookah. Mobs finds the kill on the Wonder. That sets up a 2-on-1 on B site, but they're going to rotate A.
Kind of having that distraction, showing like the defense won't know. They have to take an option. Where do we go? Do we stay on A? Do we defend it whilst we just got someone killed there? Or do we stay on B and kind of defend it from here? And seeming like what they're gonna do, they've now only got one person going up against 5 people on both sides. So this is gonna be very interesting. But there's Resurrect now from Lyco. It's gonna change up the odds.
Yeah, and I think that's a really well timed res here. Try to get this back to even, but Mob's not going to have it here. Getting that 3rd kill with an opportunity for an ace because of the resurrect. Tech is taken down. Mobs, are we going to see an ace? Not quite. Fiken finds the kill on the Zyphel. I think Mobs can live with that. They'll take the round.
Yeah, they definitely can. And now they will be going on the defensive side. We are swapping sides over, so we're going to see now how we will see Koyoko on the defensive side. They did really well on the attacking side. Can they hold a strong defense? As we kind of did see ExPandable did falter on this end. They did, don't get me wrong, they did have a few strong points. They do have 5 points. It is 7-5, so they aren't doing too bad. They got kind of having a few mishaps, but now that we've swapped over, could we see the comeback for the side of ExPandable?
Right, and I think that's what we have to look for. I think the disadvantage naturally is you're giving Mobs an opportunity to just sit back and hard scope, and anytime you do that, I think your day is going to be a little bit more difficult than it was prior to that. So I think that's going to be really difficult on B side and even trying to play A Showers here. But to your point there, like, can ExPandable put something together? I mean, we've seen it before. We saw it on the last map, and both teams, for how evenly matched they are, this thing is far from over here. If they're able to get those initial picks like you highlighted earlier, and we'll see how even in the pistol round how they put that together, they could be onto something here and start to turn this thing around.
Yeah, and it does definitely seem like they're onto something. Looking at where these players are situated themselves, we're seeing that 4 members on the P side for Koyoko, only leaving the Cypher left. So if the Cypher does go down, if Levi does go down, it's just going to open it up, and there's going to be a very fast going forward coming. But Levi, don't doubt him, because he just did manage to take out XP Wonder. So now it's going to be a 4v5 situation, and Site A is going to be for the taking.
Yeah, Levi's standing strong in that one-on-one, and that would have been absolute trouble if they had faltered, but they don't. And Mob's not faltering either here, but Zai's got something to say about it. Again, able to hold super well here. You don't necessarily want to be taking these one-on-ones against Mobs on the jet, going through the teleporter here. And while time's ticking low here, 4 seconds to plant. They got to get to a site, and they do in time. Can they get away with it? I think they will.
Does manage to get the plant though, but with 3 players left and only 100, well, he does have a decent amount of HP, but with players such as Levi and Marvs, it's gonna be a hard situation to try and overcome.
Yeah, we're gonna see. So now that brings us to 8-5 here. Mob's gonna clean things up once again, really showing off their talents here so far, pushing this to 8-5 here. And I think the world that ExPandable needs to avoid is one in which that they let Mobs comfortably sit back with an op. Anything they can do to prevent that, I think they need to force that issue a little bit more and find a way to center around them. Because if you let Mobs sit back with an op on either site, you're looking at a world of hurt.
Yeah, and especially seeing as he will be on the defense, it's going to be a harder situation for him, because he doesn't have to move as much if he's on the defense side. He just waits in an area like Viking doing, getting his triple kill there, getting finished off by Kaiser. But just being on this defense, and we were speaking about earlier about Ascent, like which one does it side more? favor more. And going on to bind, it definitely favors the defensive side because there's so many areas where you can kind of change it up. So many high defense. There you have havens, so you having to be able to have these areas. It definitely favors the defensive side.
Yeah, and the other thing too, when we were breaking down the maps, I mean, you're looking at an Ascent, you have so much room to roam.
Yeah.
I mean, even the official description I have up here, it's an open playground for small work of position and attrition. I mean, if that doesn't sound like what Expandable seems to thrive at, I don't know what does. But if you're taking a map like Vine, it's go one way or another, and at the end of that, it's mob looking down an op, or we're seeing some of these other kills coming up in the feed from members like Fiken. You don't want to be looking down the barrel of that gun. And so as Sam picks up that kill there, this defense at whole is looking fairly formidable.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I'm liking this kind of aggression that we're seeing from the side of Expandable. They planted this bomb very early on, whilst most of them were kind of situated themselves over to site of B, but they aren't having this execution that you'd like to see there. They have a few strategies, but if you want to go this aggressive, if you want to try and overtake this, you need to be quick on it. You can't sit, wait, and kind of see what happens. You need to go full force. You can't, like, if you're in a car, you aren't going to go down the highway and stop in the middle. You have to go the full way. And this is what I'm seeing from Expandable. They're kind of going down the highway, and then they get to a midway and just say, right, I'm going to stop here and just see what happens, explore the area, scout around. And then you've got all members of Koyoko who have already now surrounded them and kind of shepherd them into a location where now they will just get shot down.
Yeah, they're sort of driving here with their life on the yellow light instead of red or green, trying to balance things out here. I think they could refer back to our Shia LaBeouf speech from earlier. They
Yeah.
just gotta start playing a little bit. I don't want to call it loose, but they need. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. They're not playing with a flow to the game. They're playing with a lot of skid stop right now. And I think credit to Mobs and crew here from Koyoko, really forcing them some difficult spots here. And the defense is looking absolutely beautiful here. They're putting on a clinic on how you defend here on Vine.
Yeah, it definitely is. And one thing I could just say to Expandable, you can have a few of these situations where you play it risky, you want to take it, but you aren't full ahead. That's fine, but don't leave it too late. You need to kind of have that sweet spot where we've let it go on for long enough. We need to start pushing it, because if you leave it for too long or too short, you will start giving an open to your opposing side, who, especially a team such as Kygo, they will take that opportunity and rip you a new one to say, and you're gonna be wishing that you had the receipts to try and retake that strategy you first wanted.
Yeah, absolutely here. And so we see what comes of this next round. So 11-5, and things again looking a little dire. We saw Expandable get a little reckless when things started to unfold this way on Ascent, but then they went on a run of 3 or 4 rounds here. Wonder finding a kill with 100 Fury sounds like a pretty good way to get things started here. Maybe getting some information as well. Phytech set up on that high ground here. I don't think Zai sees everybody to his immediate left here as Zeshe brings Sant back to the grave, and here comes something but Mobs with the wall bang headshot, reminding everybody just who he is. Fighting with a couple, and Kai with another few. Kai's, 3, not quite anymore here. Koyoko gonna find something, and maybe the attacker's putting together a little juice here. Cypher walking on the point though. Levi gonna take him down, and I believe we don't have the timers in front of us. It'd be nice if they gave those debut, but they'll have more than enough time.
Yeah, and they do it like as I spoke about. They went full force there. They went up, planted the bomb, and then they used that aggression. They used that upper hand they had, because of, unfortunately for the side of Expandable, for Koyoko, they weren't ready for that. They were just waiting back, hoping to get an opportunity. And unfortunately for El side of Koyoko, the ExPandable just pushed up. They got aggressive, planted the bomb, and were able to get a few kills. They wasn't able to get the full finish, but they did more than enough to kind of give them that edge.
Right here.
But unfortunately for them, they did have Levi and other players to kind of damage that. But this is what I like to see from the side of ExPandable. I'm hoping they can continue to do this.
Right, absolutely, and they're gonna have to keep up that sort of thing. Levi finding a couple here, and that's pretty good too. So, Wonder and Koyoko taken down here, setting up a really difficult 4-on-3. So we'll see what Zai is able to continue here as well. ExPandable's hanging on from the ropes.
I know
Yeah, they
exactly where you
definitely
are.
are. But this is the situation now where we can kind of see, is this over aggression worth it? Because now they've lost so many players. There's only Finken left, and unfortunately they do lead the round, but they were kind of showing as to how powerful and having the aggression can be, because they were just pure aggressive. They weren't playing smart about it. They just went aggressive. They wanted the kills. They were kill hungry. But it was kind of working for them. They pulled aggressive, but with Leica and that, and Kai, they just waited back. They were kind of bit back, and it kind of gave them the open to kind of stay safe.
Absolutely, and we'll see here what they're able to put together. Again, game point and match point on the line. As this is a best of 3 format here. Zai gonna find Zeshi, but Mobs answering back, finding Zai, and so that trade-off definitely gonna go in favor of Koyoko still having their main fragger. Wonder takes down Fiken though, trying to even things out.
Yeah, definitely would be indeed. And both sides do not have their Sage. Marbs does go down. So this is where we could see ExPandable now kind of push up. They don't. Goku does not have their top fragger, so they can start pushing up. Have some of this aggression where they can kind of force the players to come in.
You know, we'll see what Levi's able to put together here. So we saw the pop off from Levi before as Kai and Ascent pick up a couple of kills. Phytek being taken down gonna really hurt here. But we're seeing them move here on the B site, setting up a 2-on-1. Levi's won these before. Can he do it again? He's gonna loop around and look for something from behind.
Yeah, he tried to go for a sneaky wallbang there, but found that nobody was there. They were close behind, but just a bit too wide on the open there.
Yeah, and ExPandable again here. You know, maybe a little bit of too little too late, but when their backs against the wall here, they're putting together a couple of really clean rounds. And we had talked about this earlier. The recipe for success, right, has to start with some of those early picks, generating those kills and really translating it into something we're finally really starting to see that here.
Yeah, and it's a great thing to see, because ExPandable, when they definitely agree, when they have their back to the wall, this is where we start to see them pull out and have wins. But you can't always have a situation where you rely on that, because sometimes it's a 50-50. It's like it's a seesaw. You can either win them or lose them, and if you don't lose them, win them, you come into those situations. But Kai, with that cheeky kill, that's gonna start this momentum.
I flat out thought he was going to look at that right corner and not turn around in time. I won't even lie. Yeah, I got worried for his sake. I was like, he's going to look to the side and get blasted upside the skull. But he's looking all right there. He's going to look up on that high ground here. But Mobs picking up a kill on the Phytek, and it makes things a little bit more interesting than we had originally anticipated. Again, bomb is ticking. So when you're thinking about these matchups, sure, it's a 3-on-3, but defenders really fighting the bomb timer here as well.
Yeah, they definitely are, but now we've left CM Mobs yet again using that ultimate. He grabs these so quickly. It's kind of interesting that like and seeing from ExPandable, they're kind of playing it far, playing it passive, and it's worked out well for them. But as I keep saying, you have to be careful because if you leave yourself too open and you give the freedom of to move around against the team that's defending, you're allowing them to kind of have the opportunity to push up into the territory where you don't necessarily want them to be. That's kind of how Marv's was able to use his ultimate and get the kill. It kind of allowed him to get the push. It didn't go to the full effect, but it kind of did quite a bit of damage to them.
And the awful part of this here for your
Revealing area.
expandable, it feels like they're putting in all this work. They're finally getting the momentum going. They still need to win 5 more in a
Yeah.
row. But you know what I mean? Like, so regardless, I think it's a show match here. It's actually going to pick up a couple kills here. Expandable have to be pretty happy with what they're putting out in the face of adversity. This is the kind of thing you want to see, in tournaments when your mental might really begin to take some hits out after long days and sessions. This is absolutely the sort of thing you're looking for. Is Koyoko is going to find the res here, setting up a defense 5-on-4 advantage.
Yeah, and both resurrects coming out, so now that they kind of made sure that they have these fraggers, they have the people able to back it up. Freshy did manage to bring up Mob, so he's now back in play. If he has an operator, I'm hearing it around somewhere. I believe maybe he doesn't have one of his own, but he can just wait in the back, like we keep saying, and kind of hold down the fort.
Yeah, Zai gonna pick up a kill there. Zeshi and Feikin trying to do just that, trying to keep things solidified in the fort. Mobs and Zeshi gonna pick up another couple kills. The attackers are wiped out, and with that, Mobs will wipe out any chance of this comeback here. Koyoko Gaming gonna take game number 2 and match point.
Yeah, and it's interesting from both sides. Unfortunately, Expandable didn't win this matchup today. Then again, it is only a showdown, so there is kind of working out how these teams are playing up against each other, kind of seeing like what can we necessarily get away with and what can't we get away with. And that's fine. We aren't in a necessarily a tournament, we aren't match difference, we aren't counting the points. It's just kind of fun working it out. And this is times where we'll see weird and risky strategies coming out from these teams, just because they want to see what they can get away with and what works well and what doesn't, because that's sort of stuff that you would see in the showdown you wouldn't see in a tournament, because they know that the pressure and everything's crucial. And if you make a big mistake by taking a very risky strategy, that can be the whole of your tournament, and that can be you kicked out of the matchups.
Absolutely. And so just reminding everybody, for checking this out tonight, thank you for tuning in. We're going to be trying to be doing this a little bit more often. So you might be hearing some different voices, but you're still going to be getting the same great gameplay one way or another. We're going to try for this every other week and work our way up to once a week. So please, if you haven't already, hit the follow button below. You can also find Expandable on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Those you can find located in the panel at the bottom of your screen or in the info tab if you're watching this on mobile. But with that, we say GG's to Koyoko Gaming and congrats on winning this show match, and GG's to Expandable as well. They'll be coming back with everything they got next time for sure. So for myself, I'm Paul. For Brilliant Frame, for everyone behind the scenes, Sasha, Sparks, and Twig, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.